2 hours after we finished recording last week's episode, Cavalry announced they're making the whole app free, and Adobe is catching fire from every direction. It's Motion Mondays. Okay, first story, and I cannot stress this enough. Cavalry announced they are making the entire app, all professional features, completely free. 2 hours after we finished recording last week. Anyway, a few months after being acquired by Canva, Cavalry is now free to anyone with a Canva account. What's interesting to me isn't just the price, even though the price is obviously amazing, it's that Canva is quietly assembling a full creative pipeline, and Cavalry is the motion design piece. They already have Affinity, which is basically Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator. Now they have Cavalry, which is basically After Effects. All they're missing is a video editor, and I would not be surprised if they try to acquire one in the next couple of years. On pricing, it's fully free for individuals. You need a Canva account. Enterprise goes through Canva Enterprise or Education, and legacy paid licenses are being sunsetted. If you've never tried Cavalry, it may look like After Effects from the outside, but it's quite different. It's fully procedural. You can do really complex algorithmic MoGraph style things without code. Playback is mostly real time. The renderer is very fast. You can do procedural rigs, data-driven setups, responsive layout. There's duplicators, behaviors, and no more crippled free tier. And look, the timing was not lost on us. 3 days before we dropped our first Cavalry course, Cavalry went free, so thank you, universe. If you haven't tried Cavalry yet, there is no excuse. It's free. Not free with annoying limits free, just free. But this is just one move in a much bigger game. As Yoda might say, begun, the Adobe war has. The Verge posted an article this week with the headline, "The creative software industry has declared war on Adobe," and it's been making the rounds. The piece covers the wave of free tools challenging Adobe. Autograph, Cavalry, Affinity, DaVinci Resolve, Apple's Creator Studio. Creative Cloud Pro is $70 a month. Creator Studio is $13. Resolve, Autograph, Cavalry, all free. And it's not just pricing pressure, it's competitor ecosystem formation. Canva has Affinity for design and Cavalry for motion. Resolve reads Affinity files. You can genuinely build a full pro pipeline that never touches Adobe. Now, what articles like this tend to leave out is the counterpoint. So let me give you that. Adobe's real moat isn't the software, it's the hiring pipeline, the installed base, and the ecosystem built up over decades. I was at NAB last week and I talked to some artists at some really big companies, and they are not switching. In fact, many are adding Adobe Firefly to their toolkits. Software change at enterprise scale is not a price decision, it's a risk decision. So here's my take. In the short term, these free tools are amazing add-on capabilities. Cavalry gives you things you simply can't do in After Effects. In the long term, maybe this plays out like Blender versus Cinema 4D. Established artists stick to what they know, younger artists start in the free tools, and in 10 or 15 years, these younger artists are the industry. That's how market share shifts, slowly then all at once. And here's what the doom and gloom framing misses. The market for motion design is growing. More content, more channels, more demand. Competition makes tools better, and we all benefit. 2 very cool Blender plugins dropped this week. The first is called Light Painter. It lets you paint 2D strokes over your 3D scene that get projected as lights on your models. Want a specific highlight on a specific part of your model? You literally paint it on. Gradients, masks, basically Photoshop, but for lighting inside Blender. You can even move, fade, and rotate your lights using keyframes. The light version is $12, full version is $36, great for stylized lighting setups. The second one just launched, Copy to Autograph. Select objects, cameras, lights, text, and animation in Blender, then copy and paste them directly into Maxon's newly free Autograph via the clipboard. No FBX or USD export. Per frame baking means constraints, drivers, and rigs survive the transfer. Complex meshes don't work yet, and there's no live link, so every update is a new copy-paste. But for camera-driven sequences and match move work, this is definitely useful. Download it for free at the link in the description. And now for something completely uncontroversial. Andrew Price, aka Blender Guru, gave a talk about AI. Andrew is a legend in the Blender community. You know, he's the donut tutorial guy. He's probably taught more people Blender than anyone else on earth. And one of my favorite things about him is that he doesn't tailor what he says to what his audience wants to hear. He just tells you what's on his mind. He gave a talk at Blender Conference Austin on controlling AI with Blender. The workflow is block out a scene in Blender, render depth passes, feed them into comfy UI for concept iteration, send interesting pieces to Meshy to become 3D assets, bring those back into Blender as placeholders. He also uses LLMs to generate world-building details. It's circular, iterative, and pretty fast. Predictably, the social media response was extremely polarized. Lots of dunking on Andrew for saying AI can be useful. Now, before you jump into the discussion, I just urge you to watch the full talk. Don't just read about it on social media. I thought the most interesting part of his talk is this distinction that he draws. Tasks are not jobs. AI can replace certain tasks, and it will replace more over time. Stock imagery, voiceovers, 3D assets, those are tasks. But for most people, those tasks aren't the entire job. If you're doing commercial art, your job is to convey a message and a vibe visually. To do that, you may need to execute tasks: modeling, texturing, lighting, animation, editing. AI is getting better at those, but the job, the part that requires your taste, your judgment, your ability to synthesize everything together into something that actually lands, AI isn't there and probably won't be for a long time. I'll also add this: every artist I talk to at NAB is using AI professionally. All of them. Clients are asking for it. Salaries are higher if you know the tools. Jevons paradox comes to mind. When a technology makes something more efficient, demand goes up. There's more work and more leverage for the ones who know the tools. And social media makes it seem like the whole industry is in revolt. There's a preference falsification happening. It feels risky to mention AI in certain circles, so artists pretend they don't use it, and that distorts the picture. So I urge you to watch Andrew's full talk. It's very thought-provoking, and he's very honest. The link is in the description. It's time for a quick School Motion news roundup. All Access just turned 1. Happy birthday. We're celebrating like adults with a discount. 25% off your first year. Code AABirthday at checkout through Sunday, May 3rd at midnight Eastern. First-time annual subscribers only. If you've been thinking about learning Cavalry, C4D, After Effects, Blender, Rive, now's the time. Also, last week we dropped 2 new courses. Cavalry Kickstart with Greg Stewart walks you through everything you need to get up to speed in Cavalry fast. It's nearly 13 hours long. And Cinema 4D Insider with EJ Hasenfratz is a deep cut workflow course for C4D artists who already know the software and want to work like pros, both on All Access right now. Also, School Motion is partnering with Maxon and the Corridor crew for the Oddly Satisfying Render Challenge. Use Cinema 4D and Redshift to create a 5 to 20 second mesmerizing render. First prize is a Dell Pro Max 18 laptop plus a year of Maxon One and All Access. Free subscriptions for second and third place too. Submissions close May 25th, winners are announced June 8th, and all the details are at oddlysatisfyingchallenge.com. And to all 4,000 plus All Access members, you are invited to our monthly portfolio review next Thursday, April 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Come get your real roasted.
I love a good roast!
We hope to see you there. It's time to shout out some awesome work from around the industry. First up, Coliseum dropped a reel. They do in-stadium graphics, so 16:9 doesn't really do it justice. But the editing and sound design really sell their ability to work with multiple screens, arena ribbons, and player intros at scale. It's kind of mind-blowing when you consider how young this studio is. Next, our new friends at Believe Studios in Santiago, Chile. We met some of the team at NAB. They made a piece called Scratch, a spot for bug spray. It's not really the sexiest product, but they made something absolutely gorgeous, nailing compositions, color palette, animation. They can go toe-to-toe with any studio. And if you know any other great South American studios, leave them in the comments. Bartek Radzijewski showed off wild Rive work for CSGO Roll, a Counter-Strike 2 skin trading platform. Whatever that means. The entire interface, though, was rebuilt in Rive with, and I'm quoting here, a gazillion data bindings. It's responsive for desktop, mobile, it's also multiplayer. The demo shows just how far you can push interfaces in Rive, and all your motion design skills apply directly. And finally, Good Secrets has a reel that deserves way more love. Killer 3D, Killer 2D, a mix of styles that would make any motion designer jealous. It's a full minute long with zero filler, not one slow moment, genuinely hard to pull off. Their site has a ton of animation on it too, so go explore. Rive partnered with Contra for the Impossible UI Challenge. $10,000 on the line, and your goal is to build a UI that would make an engineer cry. The judge lineup is stacked. Eric Jordan from 2 Advanced, Grant Skinner, and Lee Brimelow, legends from the Flash era. The goal is to build the craziest interface you can think of in Rive. And honestly, School Motion viewers might have an unfair advantage here because a lot of you haven't worked in UI, and so you don't actually know what engineers hate, and you'll push it even further. So go make something ridiculous. All the info is in the description. Second, Webflow announced a much better Rive integration using GSAP, which Webflow acquired last year. You can now control Rive animations directly from Webflow interactions, no custom code needed. So tie your scroll position to variables inside a Rive file. Bind to Rive's view models from Webflow timelines. Scroll, click, and page load events all drive Rive state changes. One embed handles multi-state experiences, and the Rive renderer has been updated to WebGL2, so vector feathering is supported. All the nerdy details in the description. Nano Banana fans, listen up. OpenAI threw down the gauntlet, launching Images 2.0 this week. For the past few months, Google's image generator has been the top dog, but Images 2.0 handles text better than anything else out there. Complex prompts, full layouts, readable type with realistic results. So what does this mean for motion designers? Well, depends on how you're using image generators. I find them most useful in the early ideation phase, finding art directions, kind of like you'd use Pinterest. When you need a specific element, you can sometimes generate it faster than hunting for stock. Images 2.0 pushes that further with strong character consistency, which can be useful for storyboards and animatics. It can even research a topic before generating, and it takes revisions. My take on this is that tools like this aren't for delivering final products. They're for closing the gap between the vision in your head and something you can put on a mood board or cut a piece out of. As we talked about with Andrew Price, tasks are not jobs. This automates some tasks and gives you more leverage on the ones that really matter. If you're AI curious, Images 2.0 is in ChatGPT now or via the OpenAI API, link in the description. Canva clearly has that dog in them. They dropped a few Affinity updates last week, and together they tell a clear story. The Canva brand system is now baked into Affinity apps, so you can design in Affinity and hand off into Canva for scale. There's a new Capture One integration, pro photo files into Affinity in one click with layers, masks, and metadata intact. How long before Canva just acquires Capture One? Here's a big one for Resolve users. You can now open Affinity's AF files directly in DaVinci with live link functionality. Update your Affinity file and it updates in Resolve immediately, no re-export. That's awesome for title design and motion finishing. There's also a new Claude MCP integration for Affinity, so you can ask Claude to handle repetitive tasks, rename layers, batch operations, all without writing code. All of this points to the same thing as Cavalry going free. Canva is assembling a pro pipeline, Affinity for design, Cavalry for motion, integrating with Capture One for photo and Resolve for edit. They used to be the prosumer tool, and they are clearly aiming at professionals now. It's time to shout out our School Motion Student of the Week, and this week it's Shai Levy from Israel, a motion designer at i24 News, who just finished Demo Reel Dash. Shai said before this course his reel was a collection of work, but now it's a clear statement. The course pushed him to think beyond just cool shots and focus on what he actually wants to say. He's got a great collection of broadcast work across a bunch of styles, and the edit has been seriously upgraded. It's concept-driven, it's intentional with every frame. So amazing job, Shai. Check out his work at the link in the description. Another day, another amazing new tool. MoGraph legend Albert Omas has been quietly building a Photoshop alternative on a node graph, and as of April 28th, he's launching a beta. Hit up his social post and reply beta to get in line. ArcBrush is a node-based image editor. Build your pipeline once, export as many versions as you need, every color variant, every format, automatically. It's got all the image editing tools you know from Photoshop, but node-based and non-destructive. Albert called it a cross between Photoshop and Nuke, which sounds awesome to me. Game artists, texture artists, product mock-up designers, there's something here for a lot of workflows. AI is built in as nodes alongside everything else, which is the right way to do it. 75 nodes, 9 categories, it runs locally. You can check it out at arcbrush.com. Font management on Mac has always been a little painful. Fontbook is okay, but there's always been a gap between what designers want and what ships with the OS. Enter Josh Puckett's Pica. It's free, it's Mac only, it's built by a designer. Logo previews, color themes, open type support, custom collections per project, one-click activation, and even watch folders for new fonts. For designers working with a lot of type, this is genuinely useful. Link in the description. And that is it for this episode of Motion Mondays. Don't forget, code AABirthday gets you 25% off your first year of All Access through Sunday at midnight Eastern. Cavalry Kickstart and Cinema 4D Insider are both live. Now enter the Oddly Satisfying Render Challenge. First prize is a brand new Dell laptop plus a year of Max on One and All Access. All the details at oddlysatisfyingchallenge.com. And All Access members' portfolio review is next Thursday, April 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern. We hope to see you there. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Monday.